Hey everybody, I'm Mark Walters with BigFanboy.com, here once again at the historic Texas Theater, and once again with the great Kevin Smith.
Hi!
We're here for the convenience tour for Clerks 3. This is actually one of the last stops on the tour, but it's not over yet. There's still 4 stops left this year, and I think a couple maybe next year too.
I think we're going as far, I think it ends December 6th. We're going to go, after this, we go to Austin tomorrow, we go to San Antonio, then we got a few days down, we go to Phoenix, then a few days down, then we go Boston and Hartford, and then it's all over, man. We've been on the road since September 4th. Been an absolute blast.
First and foremost, thank you for coming and doing these things. Every time I work with you, I feel like I just ran a marathon, but it was like a fun marathon.
It does. It takes a lot out of you, but like it's a lot of joy, man, because we don't. It'd be one thing if it was like, hey, we come and show the movie. Then we show the movie and then do a Q&A afterwards, then like do pictures and stuff like that. So it becomes like a very extended affair. What is normally a 90-minute movie becomes like a 5-hour experience. But the folks who are here for it love it. Like I'm sure some people out there are like, 5 hours of Kevin Smith is a fucking nightmare. But people who are into it, it's like, you know, when we go to these screenings, it's the closest I'll ever get to having my own Marvel movie. Because like with the Marvel movies, like when we saw Endgame, fucking Captain America, spoilers, catches Thor's hammer and shit, and everybody's like, wow! It's because they've all been following the story for like a good decade and they all know what that means. Same thing with these screenings. Everybody who's overpaying to see Clerks 3 is there because they're like, I know all these fucking movies, and they're paying to be in the same room with all these other people who know every piece of data about the flick, so every joke fucking lands. It's very jerry-rigged in terms of like a level table. Most filmmakers just make a thing and hope that the world likes it. Fuck that. I make sure that I can strategically put it in a place where I know some people are gonna fucking love it. I can't get the world. The ones who are coming, I know I can reach them.
Yeah, absolutely. You and I go back almost 30 years. I mean, we've been talking a lot over the years. And I think a lot of people in this audience, like myself, not just for yourself, but for them, it's a cathartic experience because they've grown up with you and you've grown up with them. And so it's a symbiotic, cathartic experience to have a movie like this.
It's been so wonderful. I mean, I didn't realize that when we were making it. It wasn't until we first started showing it, but I was like, oh, I see what's happening. People watching the movie, they start watching Dante and Randall, and then they kind of, at a certain point, switch over and reflect on their own lives because they're like, I've been watching these fools for fucking like 30 years. And they're like, wait a second, 30 years? Where have they gone? And it creates an existential condition for the viewer as well. Mercifully, it doesn't seem to be a painful existential crises of sorts, but it does present like an interesting notion that I don't think anybody paying to see Clerks 3 was thinking was going to happen. Yeah. You know, I think once they saw the 3 in the title and saw the trailer, like, I know what he's going for. All right, this could work and shit. They get to see that movie. We give them the movie we promised, but then we give them like a half an hour of something else. And it kind of like, you know, I can't surprise people anymore, right? Now everybody knows who the fuck I am and what I could do. And what I could do is very limited and usually has the word clerks in the title. So there's a certain expectation. If I could subvert that expectation by giving them something they didn't see coming a million fucking miles away, all the feels, like fucking, you know, their heart cleaved in twain, then that's something. You know, as a filmmaker, you should always be striving for something new or just try to break a little bit of new ground. And I think being able to rook them in with fucking like, you're coming to see Clerks, and then giving them something a little more at the end has been bliss for me. Hopefully the audience goes with it.
And I think this kind of fits in with this movie. And I want to say this because I think I'm pretty passionate about this myself. People giving you a hard time for crying in a movie, they can go F themselves, because I think if you cry in a movie, that's how you know the movie is being powerful and it's connecting with you. There's nothing wrong with crying in a movie.
I agree. I think I honestly think most people agree.
Yeah. Even
the people that went after me. Where they really object though is like, you post a photo of yourself crying. Like, if you're gonna cry in a movie theater, keep it to yourself. But to me, I like to fucking share that sort of things. I know as many people as like, I hate that shit. There are many more people who are like, oh my God, that's how I fucking feel.
Yeah.
And then you give them tacit permission to be that person. Be like, you fucking cry at a Spider-Man movie. If it works, it fucking works. You don't have to be like, oh, that's for fucking kids. If it grabs you, lean into that fucking emotion. So that's the way I've always felt. But man, it's, you know, Twitter's always been a bit of a hellscape, but lately even more so.
You know what, Kevin? All you got to do is look at the rest of their feed, and you can tell exactly what kind of person you're talking to.
It's true. Most of it is like when you look at like some of it, because every once in a while I'm like, who the fuck could write this? And you click on it, and then you realize that's all they write. They never write a single fucking like, had coffee, it was tasty. Everything is like, life sucks, these people suck, these people are terrible, why is everything fucking broken? And I get it. I was in my 20s once. Yeah. I was emo. I was like, yeah, man, the fucking world sucks. But these are people in their 50s and 60s.
It's sad, isn't it? I do want a couple of quick hits here. We just, speaking of quick hits, Quick Stops just came out in comic book.
Issue number 1.
It's in comic book stores right now. You guys can go pick that up, or you can go to the store, your merch store, and pick up exclusive versions of it.
It's at janesilentbob.com. It's I started a comic book imprint with Dark Horse called Secret Stash Press. The first book we put out was a vigilante book that I do with Andy McElfish and Captain Ridman. And it's called Masquerade.
It's great. It's awesome. I'm telling you, it's great.
It's a fun book, man. It's a nice build to it. There's like 8 issues total, and I think issue 3 is about to drop on that one. And issue 4, we take a little break. They put out a trade, and then we do the next 4. Quick Stops is an anthology title that's just every issue is a View Askew universe tale. So the first one is Holden at Chronicon telling the story of how he first came up with the idea for Blunt Man and Chronic via Jay and Silent Bob. Issue 2 is Brody and Randall, the cousins Brody and Randall go to their cousin Walter's funeral after he breaks his neck trying to suck his own dick. Issue 3 is Pius, Elias, and the Crypto Kid. That's all about, the first half is Elias going to Bible camp and the story of the Pussy Troll. And the second half is him going back to Bible camp and meeting Blockchain, the character that he hangs out in this movie with. And then the 4th issue of Quick Stops is Dante and Veronica go on their second date. Randall insists on going with them. He just kind of barges his way into the date. They're all going to a Hicks family reunion. So Dante's family has a family reunion yearly. And so, you know, Brian O'Halloran played Dante Hicks, and then the other movies played like Gil Hicks, Grant Hicks, Jim Hicks.
Listen, we're finally pulling back the curtain on
Everyone comes together. And so the cover of it is beautiful. It's The Breakfast Club with all Brian O'Halloran's. So I've been loving it, man. It's a black and white book. Yeah. Makes sense because it's set at Quick Stop and stuff. Gorgeous covers. Rotating artist Jeremy Simpson did the first issue. It's beautiful. Phil Hester and Andy Parks did the second issue.
You're familiar with those guys.
Oh, they did genre-defining, career-defining work with me when we did Green Arrow together. So I love those guys.
And the last thing I want to mention, there are 2 people behind the camera here that are extremely important to what you do.
Yes.
Josh and Liv, and they've got a film coming out called Wrong Reasons, and it's going to play right here at the Historic Texas Theater on February 17th. We'll have more information down below on that as it's coming up. They'll be back here for the film, and you're a big part of this thing, aren't you?
Yeah, I was a producer, but I also got to play a role. Like I love acting and shit, and I believe I played Josh. I wore the same exact fucking clothes and played a version of Josh.
So the wardrobe was handy.
It fit like a glove. I got to work with Ralph in it and stuff, and it's wonderful. And you know, the kids have supported me through like everything I've done for the last few years. Josh has made a gazillion documentaries about all the stuff that we worked on. So when they were like, we want to do a thing, it was a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. Be like, okay, let's try to see if we can get this set up. And we did, and they made a wonderful fucking flick. So they're touring, which I think is like fucking adorable. They've been on the last 2 tours with me.
Art imitates life.
Learn the fucking thing, man. So the day they're like, we're touring the movie, I was like, get out of here. Where'd you get that idea?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's coming here to Texas theaters, going on a bunch of other places to start. We're going to do a festival of Josh's movies, all his docs, and then end with Wrong Reasons. And Josh's last name is Rausch. So the festival, we're calling it Rauschemon. And so at the end, when Wrong Reasons plays, then that kicks off their tour. How many dates you guys doing?
10 to 15.
10 to 15. And what's the website? Find Cat Odin?
Yeah, Find Cat Odin.
FindCatOdin.ODIN?
ODEN.
ODEN. FindCatOdin.com for tickets and information.
Okay, and we'll put up some information at bigfanboy.com about that as well. We've got to wrap this up, but I just want to say again, thank you so much for coming back to the Texas Theater, for being a part of this Dallas crowd. You're a very passionate theater man yourself. You just bought your own movie theater, which I think is fantastic.
I'm going to steal so many ideas from you guys.
I'm going to come visit this man.
Yeah. Not only come visit, come program for like a fucking good month and shit. But this place is chock-a-block full of fucking good ideas. I'm gonna purloin like left and right, man. You guys are doing the Lord's work here, and I'll never get what you guys got going on here going on there. Like, this is a big city, a lot of culture here and stuff like that. But if I can get to like 25% of what you guys do in terms of like fun programming, people coming out to see new and old movies, you just want to make a good time for the movie theater. Most people ingest movies in a very fast food kind of way now and don't even like appreciate the theatrical experience and stuff. It's like a duty. They got to get in and get it the fuck out. Places like this, like a temple of cinema and shit, where like you ease into the chair and like there's a pre-program that just fucking reminds you of your childhood. Everything is inviting about it. They did a screening of They Live Here. Then after the movie was over, 150 people go behind the screen and there's a fucking concert. Like,
it's so great.
Yeah, it's like that's, it's not enough to be like, hey, I can sell you a ticket to fucking Black Adam or Black Panther or any black movie. You need to be able to be like, hey man, there's an experience here. An experience you're not going to get anyplace else. And that's what this place specializes in. That's the kind of thing we're trying to do at my cinema as well. Anybody could show a movie. But if you can make them remember, not just the movie, but the whole fucking experience of them going and stuff, they'll keep coming back. And you'll mint hardcore addicts for the rest of your fucking life. So I'm gonna spend the next year making sure that place looks a lot more like this place and what you guys do.
It's all about keeping what we love alive, isn't it? You've been good to me all these years, Kevin. Thank you for being here. It's great. It's an honor to know you.
Always,
Kevin Smith, ladies and gentlemen, go see Clerks 3 if you haven't already seen it.
Or watch it at home.
Yes.